Yo, yo, yo. OH10 Turk Tech. Your boy Chuck checking in with you. It's early in the morning. I got some of these Turk Tech beats dripping down here. I'm gonna have a SoundCloud real soon for this music so y'all can check it out, man. I've been like gathering my music together. I got some heat. You know what I'm saying? Got some heat. Who making music with scratching in it anymore?
Oh shit, raw bitch, papa.
Yeah. So we got somebody on that one, but I mean they a lot of over the years people rapped over them, so some of them I got songs, but they still beat. Yeah, I still got the beats. It just happens to be the song. You know, there's one person on the team whose musical ear, and you know who I'm talking to, whose musical ear, actually there's two people on the team there's multiple people on the team whose musical ear is A1, top notch. But the specific person that I'm thinking of, who I got to sit down here with and watch him and how he digs through crates. It's all digital now on the internet, but I understand how it's done, and I understand, sampling a little bit more. But anyway, I had a wonderful hell. So anyway, you got to flash the peace sign on this Osmo to get the camera to recenter itself. I just got to remember not to make any, too sudden movements. But I had a good conversation about death. And I learned something yesterday that I did not know. Not really about what happens when you die, because if you haven't figured that one out, you got to go back. You got some videos to watch. But when my grandmother passed away, the entire family was in the room, and some of us were in a better emotional state than others. My grandfather, her husband, was like a rock, and that's really how I tried to take it. But she was my grandma. She was the woman who raised me, and it hurt, so I didn't want to leave her side. And I knew, excuse me, I got a little upper respiratory infection, but I don't smoke, so it don't slow your boy down. My grandmother fought death. I sat there and I watched her fight death after I knew that she was already okay with it. So I didn't understand, like, that was one part of her death that stood out to me, is why did she sit there and why did she fight it so long? And I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, and they explained it to me. When a lot of times what will happen when somebody is transitioning, because right now I'm not really talking about death. You were supposed to die. I died last night. I'm a new man this morning. So when the time comes for me that I don't want to do this no more, when the time comes for me to retire, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go somewhere quiet. I'm going to go by myself, and I'm going to retire. we were selfish to my grandmother. None of us wanted her to leave us. And it wasn't because of her, it was because of us. Because we didn't want her to go. And she loved us so much, she fought, and I saw it in her, you know, she was ready to go, but at that moment she was fighting it, and I'm like, and it wasn't until Granddaddy grabbed her hand, he kind of wedged himself in between me and her, like I done had enough of this shit. Kind of wedged himself in between us and put his hand on the back of her head and grabbed her hand and said, Ruth, it's okay. Let go. It's all right. And I didn't understand that in the moment. In the moment, like when he first said it, I'm thinking in my head, why the fuck would you say something like, now I understand it. Charlie, I love you. You know, you gave me a lesson. You given me lessons since I was a child. I know, Charlie, you don't have a YouTube. Maybe I'll come over and I'll show you this video. Because I love you. Yeah, that's my granddad. That was my grandmother's husband. My real granddad died when I was like 3 years old. Ironically, he asked to see me. He asked to see me. My mother took me down there. I was about 4 or 5 because I remember it. My mother took me down there to see him. We spent a few days with him there in the hospital. What I remember of the time is him giving me bags of Planters peanuts, which I still love to this day. My mother and my aunt Doll packed everybody up and we came back home. Doll was his sister, my aunt, great aunt. We came back home and the next day they called us and let us know he retired. He had one request, and then he sent everybody off so he could retire. And because we were so selfish, we did not afford my grandmother that same opportunity, because I'm sure she would have took it instead of standing there in the faces of all her children and grandchildren and everybody who's selfish and knew she was in extreme, excruciating pain and still wanted her to be here on this plane when there was a greater plane calling her name. Thank you, my friend, for helping me understand that. It will forever be appreciated. This is my morning video. Check out the rest of my videos. Make sure you mash that like button, subscribe, all that. Go check me out on Instagram, OHX Turk Tech. But let your loved ones do all of that. But make sure you let your loved ones retire. Look, I'm not going to be selfish with them no more. You know, when they're ready to go, I'm going to let them go. Turk Tech, peace.